Hi, my name's Simon Keating and I am the developer of Carnage, which is a working title. If you're not familiar with the game, I'll show up a link on the video to the demo, so click that and check it out. This bit of functionality I'm about to show you is the editor, and the game will come with an editor that users can use to make their own maps to play in. I'm going to take you through the basic controls and then show you what kind of levels it can produce, give you an idea of what it will be like. First caveat is all the visuals are temporary. I've put these graphics together myself fairly quickly, but we'll get some proper artists on the case for the final game. So I'm going to start by clicking new. You can see tooltips pop up for all the tools. Hit new, and at the moment there's only one type of arena. So this is our arena shell. We'll stick with this North Bridge square, click the tick, and then the arena's built. There's a load of buttons. Let's start down here in the bottom right. These are your camera control buttons, and there are also shortcuts on the keyboard, so you can do it that way. We've got these tooltip toggle button. We have render lighting, which I'll show later on. This button toggles on the external arena model, which is basically what you'll see in the final game when the level is being played. It's easier to edit the levels with that switched off, so we'll leave that off for now. There's grid, which helps for positioning your models, and there's also a perspective toggle button, so you can either have a top-down perspective or the isometric one, which is the most fun to edit in. Up here we've got load and save options, and these will be details and export options. And the key things here are the prefabs, and these prefabs you click and drag and drop onto the map. We have standard rooms, special rooms, which are traps and triggers and other dynamic rooms. At the moment we can also add on weapon pickup points and spawn points. We've got 4 different colours. Probably won't have that in the final version, but I've just gone with 4 for now. So let's start by adding some rooms. We can click on this menu option here, or we can cycle through them here. I'll show you what the menu's like. The menu will feature a load of subcategories. At the moment these are pretty much empty, and these are just made up categories for now. In the science category we've got 2 pages worth of prefabs, some slightly interesting rooms, and some bog standard kind of square things, and then some staircases. So we'll start with a bog standard rectangle. If I zoom in a bit, you can click and then click them onto the map. While they're selected, so as if I've just brought it back on, we can use shortcut keys to raise the piece up and down and also rotate it. Or once it's clicked on, we can use these shortcut buttons here to do the same thing. You basically place your level pieces onto the map and start building up a level. You'll see that it goes red when you can't place something, and if I click it won't allow me to click it on, but when it's green it can go on. When an item is selected, you can also change the exterior walls. Now if I choose a more interesting model like one of these, you'll notice it has some interior content, so a table in this case with some sort of barrel on it. That will always be the same, but the exterior walls are the bit that you can change. So by clicking these plus and minus buttons, I can cycle through the types of walls that are on the outside. So in this case I'm going for a door, left, right, or I can go back and then maybe choose a window. If you click this button here on any one of these panels, you can choose the prefab from here for the wall. So I can shortcut to a doorway left, and I can also choose the texture for all the exterior content of the level piece. So there you go, I've given it a kind of red bricky type texture. So the basic principle is to carry on adding all your rooms however you like, whatever design you like. You can move them around nice and easily, click them into place, and you can add more interesting things like ramps. Let's go and find a ramp. Move that up. And I'm pressing the space key here for a quick shortcut, and then we've got a ramp. So there you go. So once we've got those in place and we've got whatever walls we want to have around the outside, we can also add things like special death trap rooms. Now at the moment we only have one. If I click on the menu option, you'll see that there's only one. It's the crusher room, and these are going to be the lethal bits where everyone gets properly killed. So there'll be lots of different ones with like spinning blades and flame turrets and that kind of thing, but at the moment we've just got the standard crusher room. Now crusher rooms don't automatically animate like this all the time. This is just to let you know how they'll work. They're actually activated via a trigger room. If we click on the crusher room, we'll see this special little icon specific to these types of rooms. If I click on that, I get access to the triggers menu. At the moment we only have one type of trigger, and that is the laser trip trigger. If I click on that, we now have a little room being added which fires a laser beam out. And as you can see, whenever it hits something, the laser beam stops. I can rotate that, and when you click it into place, that laser beam, wherever it is, will be its equilibrium state, as it were. And if that laser beam is ever cut or moved in any way by any kind of objects, the trap will trigger. It's a bit wordy, that is. If I move it here, you'll see that the beam actually can be cut by the trap itself. So you'll see it animating on and off. There you go. And that means that traps can trigger themselves and even have perpetual traps. So we could have a range of traps that will set each other off. I can add more than one trigger per trap. I can have as many as I like, and obviously when I've got different types of triggers, you'll be able to use different ones as well. And I could have another trap room, and perhaps that one gets set off by this one. So when this one goes off, trips this trigger, sets this trap off. The other things you can add are items, and at the moment we just have weapons and only one type of weapon. In this case an AK-47, and these would be spawn points and pickup points for weapons. So there's 4 AKs, and also there are spawn points. So we might say, if we're having a team deathmatch game, put a load of yellow spawn points down here, and then there's 6 places for the yellow team to spawn when the game starts or when they die, etc. Now a few kind of funky little things, like they're automatically replaced according to the geometry, so you move that around and you can see they go up and down. So that's a basic level put together very quickly. I can save that here. Got a few examples there where we will call this Fred. Click save and he's saved. Now last thing to make everything look pretty is the raycasting, or the light mapping. If I hit render lighting, that does it all for you from preset lighting positions and lights that are already in the arena. This will take about 30 seconds. I would edit this delay out, and I tried that before, but the editing software I was using for the movie editing keeps crashing when I try and edit 2 videos together. So for now we'll just twiddle our thumbs for a bit as this goes through. I'm going to take a sip of Coke. That's much better. As you can see, it doesn't take too long. Once you've got a lot more content in there, it will take a bit longer, but you're looking at a minute tops. And there you go, you've got a nicely rendered level, nice and pretty. And that's the basics of the level editor. I'll save that one out again to Fred. And let's open one that I've made before. Here's one I made earlier, Big Tester. That's a slightly more interesting level. You can see there's some cool stuff going on here, like staircases, complicated staircases you can make with the ramps. You get creative. I can still bung on a wall here if I want to cage it in. It's all very straightforward. Here I've got a trigger down here which sets off this trap, and I've got some spawn points here and some weapons down here and everything. So that's the basics of the level editor. Hope you can see it's nice and fairly straightforward to use, very quick to put together, cool little levels, and I'm looking forward to getting this into the game and having people playing with it. That's everything for now. Cheers for watching, and hopefully the next video will be some actual gameplay type stuff. See you later.